Nature's Divine Secrets on Demand, where we talk about nature's natural remedies to overcome sickness and stay well. Today, I have Dr. Phil Carson with me, and we are going to talk to you about natural ways to boost the immune system. So we're so excited to have you here, and welcome back. Hey guys, so if you know me, I'm Kiana Del Rey, your holistic homegirl, and I'm here to spread the word about engaging in your own health and wellness and making sure that you are one with your mind, body, and spirit. I serve individuals with chronic illness and mental illnesses through holistic methods because I want to help people lead a lifestyle that heals them from the inside out to reduce their symptoms and head towards remission. I do this by educating folks and encouraging folks to leave the sickness mentality behind and step into a lifestyle of holistic living. And today we are going to talk about natural remedies for immune support. So everyone, welcome Dr. Carson.
Hey, Kiana.
Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me today.
I'm so glad you're here. I get so excited doing these little live streams. So I'm probably like way too excited, but I just get so excited because we're talking about the immune system during a really delicate time. And I think it's super important that we educate folks on how to lead a lifestyle that helps them from getting sick and helps them avoid getting sick during this time. So I'm going to take a few minutes to talk about what the immune system is. And if I get some of this wrong, you feel free to interject. But the immune system protects anybody, not just a child's body, but our bodies from outside invaders, including germs, viruses, fungi, and toxins. You know, this next point talks about how the immune system is made up of different parts of the body, like white blood cells, antibodies, the lymphatic system, the spleen, the thymus, and the bone marrow. But I would also like to add that our skin is a layer of protection in our immune system as well.
Absolutely.
And so these are the parts of that actively fight infection for us day to day. So there's also two types of immunity to talk about. There's innate immunity versus adaptive immunity. And if I understand this correctly, innate immunity is basically like the immunity that we're born with, that we get from our mothers during nursing and things like that. It's more of the instinctual part that our physical body plays. And so the research that I did said that it consists of physical, chemical, and cellular defenses against pathogens. And its main purpose is to immediately prevent the spread and the movement of foreign pathogens throughout the body. So I love that. And then the second type of immunity is adaptive immunity, which is non-self pathogens. And so I think what's interesting about this is that the immunity that we acquire over time. So not just vaccinations, but even getting sick previously, right? So when we get sick,
exactly.
And we build up that immunity to that. So I want to talk about the immune system today and how we can naturally protect ourselves. So Dr. Carson, we're going to put you in the hot seat with a bunch of questions. Are you ready?
I am ready. I love questions.
So my first question to you is to tell us a little bit about your background and your expertise.
All right, absolutely. Well, I'm a doctor of pharmacy. I've been in the pharmacy profession off and on for almost 37 years now. I graduated way back in 1985 and from pharmacy school. And I've practiced all kinds of pharmacy, been in various different fields in the pharmacy arena. But 20 something years ago, I began to shift my practice toward holistic medicine and holistic care and what's called functional medicine or functional pharmacy. And actually ended up opening two integrated pharmacies back in the early 2000s. Actually, the first one opened up in 1999, 2006, opened up a second one. these or integrated pharmacies where I had integration of traditional medicine along with holistic medicine, herbals and homeopathics, and all the nutritional products. I actually had basically like a health food store inside my pharmacy. And so this was something very unusual and unique, especially for my area of the country in the Deep South, to have this type of operation. But it served me well, and I helped a lot of people. But I moved in that direction because I was looking for solutions for my own health issues, and I was taking a handful of prescription pills every day and drinking a bottle or two of liquid antacid, over-the-counter antacid every day, to try to get some relief of the severe gastritis and intestinal issues I was suffering from. And I found my answer, my cure, so to speak, in natural medicine. Walked in a bookstore one day, and there's this display of books sitting on the on the floor in this big bookstore, and it caught my eye. I picked the book up, and it was more like an encyclopedia than a book. It's called The Prescription for Nutritional Healing. And I started flipping through it, and I saw something in there about gastrointestinal issues. So I said, maybe my answer is in this book. So I bought the book, took it home, started applying what this doctor who wrote the book said to do, and it changed my life, changed my world. From that point on, I wanted to learn more about natural therapies and holistic therapies, which I was not taught in pharmacy school. I was actually taught the history of natural medicine, not the application of it at that time. But I'm happy to see over the past couple of decades that there's been a revival, so to speak, in holistic medicine and holistic care, and people are beginning to be more proactive with their health and looking for alternative solutions to the prescription medications. And that was something that I've been right in the middle of in the past couple of decades, and not only helping myself, but helping thousands of other people that I have been able to work with and help over the past 2 decades plus, 2 decades plus actually now. And so it's been fun. It's been a journey, and it's one that I have thoroughly enjoyed, and one that I look forward to continuing on for many more years down the road. I'll be 62 years old this year, but I feel like I'm 32, and I know I don't look 32, but I feel like it. But I feel better, and I'm healthier today than I was when I was 32. That's for sure.
That's amazing. I was going to say it's all that holistic wellness keeping you young, right? It's just, you're as young.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Wow, what an incredible testimony. I love that. So I want to ask you questions. I want to ask you, firstly, my first question to you is, what do you think is the most important factor of a strong immunity?
Well, I would have to say probably, and this is in my case, and in the case of many that I've worked with. I'm going to say a healthy gut. Our gut health is so important when it comes to immunity. Actually, the science says that approximately 60% or more of our immune system is based around the gut and the health of the gut. And so it's extremely important that we have a healthy gut with what's called a healthy microbiome. And that microbiome may be a word that people are not very familiar with or haven't heard, but we have a whole, basically a whole ecology system, if you want to call it that, inside our gut of good bacteria, bad bacteria that are living there as part of that innate immune system that you were talking about. And here's something interesting too, Kiana. I have to mention this because I work with a lot of pediatrics. Pediatrics was one of the things that in my clinical work that I did when I was going through school. I had the opportunity to work in a pediatric unit, and so I became passionate about helping kids that were struggling with all kinds of health issues, particularly immune system issues. But when a child is not born through normal vaginal birth that is has to be removed by C-section, it directly affects the immune system. And it's because they don't ingest the good bacteria, the microbiome, the normal flora from the mom by passing through the birth canal. When that baby passes through the birth canal, it's ingesting and swallowing all this natural microbiome material, so to speak, from mom. When a baby is surgically removed by C-section, they don't get that. So what I have seen over the years is a lot of babies, C-section babies, they tend to have more immune system issues. They tend to have more of a problem with chronic ear infections, chronic respiratory infections. They also tend to have more of an issue in developing or becoming what's labeled as a disorder called attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD or ADD. See that quite a bit with C-section babies as well. But anyway, had to mention that because it's related to the gut and the health of the gut and our immune system from birth. That's where it starts, and with the ingestion of those good bacteria from mom, and so that's within the gut. That all that microbiome, all those good bacteria are developing within the gut, and in starting or upstarting our immune system, from birth. But unfortunately, even if we do pass through the birth canal, even we do get that good bacteria from mom, there are all these medications, environmental factors, toxins, all the things you mentioned earlier that actually can destroy or weaken those good bacteria in our gut that are a vital part of our immune system. So those bacteria, the primary job of the good bacteria in the gut is to fight off or give us a level of protection against the bad bacteria that may be there, or the bad bacteria or fungus or whatever that we ingest as well. They're there to help protect us and fight those off and keep them under control. And what happens with a lot of people struggling with immune system issues is that that good bacteria is not powerful enough. There's not enough there to fight off the invaders that come in. And that's why I see a lot of times, and you may have heard of this and know of this as well, you have some people that tend to get exposed to certain things and they don't get sick, or they have a mild case. And then you got others that just wipes them out. I mean, it just makes them very sick. Same thing with food poisoning issues. I see this quite a bit with people who may ingest, two people may ingest the same food. One gets sick, the other one doesn't. Well, most likely one is deficient in the good bacteria, the other one is not. So it is a vital part of the immune system. And I think one of the most important aspects of our immune system is to have a good, healthy gut microbiome and keep our bowel function properly working as well, to help remove those toxins from our system and help remove the bad bacteria and the funguses, all parasites, all the different things that can invade our bodies that need to be removed.
Wow, I don't know how I just knew you were gonna say gut health, because I wrote it down. I was say this next, and this is where we're gonna segue. But we talk everything poop on this channel because it's so important. My story is about this, very similar to yours. I started on a holistic health journey because I struggled with severe IBS, which I'm pretty sure is IBD and was misdiagnosed originally. And so yes, so I love talking about gut health, and I'm always talking about how it impacts the immune system. Last week I talked about how it impacts weight loss and weight retention and things like that. And so I love that you brought this up. My question for you, off the top of my head, I'm always telling people like prebiotics, probiotics, but I hate sending. See, when you tell people these things, they run to the store and they pick up the nearest bottle and
Yep.
no, like stop over to the grocery store and grab some sauerkraut and grab some kefir water and grab some kombucha, because I know that certain types of probiotics and prebiotics only have certain types of bacteria
Yeah.
in them, and that's actually
Right.
not good for us. It's kind of the same thing as us taking like antibiotics that we don't need, kind of, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
Yep.
maybe you can explain to people why the natural occurring probiotic is going to be better to support their gut health than the store bought that's only one particular bacteria.
Yes, absolutely. Great question. I love that. Yeah. I always tell people when it comes to supplements, whether it's probiotics or whether it's vitamins, minerals, or whatever, supplements are, as the name infers, they're to supplement a good, healthy diet. And so if you can get your probiotics through your diet, that's the best way to get them. Natural, live probiotics that are in the foods. There's no better way to get them into our system and to help support our immune system than getting them through these good fermented foods that you just talked about. And I love every one of those that you mentioned. They're all fantastic. And there are quite a few different types of fermented foods out there on the market as well. One that I kind of steer people away from a lot of times is processed yogurt. And there's a lot of yogurt, and people think, well, that's the best way to get my probiotics, go get yogurt. Well, a lot of times with most of the yogurt products, there may be one bacteria in it, there may be two, but they're also going to be loaded with sugar or artificial sweeteners in some cases, and a whole lot of other artificial chemicals potentially in those probiotic those yogurt products, processed yogurt products. So real whole yogurt that hasn't been gone through all this processing and all this junk added to it is okay, but most people don't eat that. They go for the processed stuff. But yeah, as far as with all of this bacteria that we get from supplements, most of them, they are, like you said, one. Some of them may have two or three. What I prescribe and what I take myself are what's called broad spectrum probiotics. Ones that contain usually anywhere from 10 to 15 different varieties of good bacteria in the mixture, along with a probiotic that you mentioned. I don't. All the probiotics that I recommend to people and I put my patients on are a mix of and probiotics. And for people who are not familiar with prebiotics are basically fiber products. There are a lot of fiber products and also what they call saccharides that are found in plants that actually help the good bacteria multiply and grow. And that's why I like to add or have a probiotic product that has the prebiotics in there, because it makes it more effective. And it's increasing the numbers of good bacteria that are actually able to grow in your intestinal system and in your body. And so that's very important. That's what I recommend. And also, there's something too that a lot of people are not aware of. It's kind of come out, a lot's come out about it recently in some studies that have been done on what's called postbiotics. And so there's prebiotics, there's probiotics, and there's postbiotics. And the postbiotics are something called butyrate. And there's these and some of the actual fibrous foods that we eat can actually, like green vegetables, a lot of the green plants cruciferous type foods like broccoli and Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, those kind of things can help produce probiotics in our body. But you can actually buy probiotic supplements as well. Postbiotic supplements as well now. There's quite a few butyrate products on the market. So that's something that's relatively new in the world of probiotics and gut health, is those postbiotics. And there's been quite a bit of information out there, quite a bit of studies done recently in the area and showing the benefits of those postbiotics as well.
Wow, I'm that's a new one to me. Postbiotics. I'm probably gonna like dive into that and make an entire Instagram post about that so I can spread the word.
Yeah.
But wow, that you just blew my mind with that. Wow, I'm so excited to learn more about that. The other thing I wanted to ask you was what other foods. It's so funny that I'm saying this, but I really appreciate it because it's Lunar New Year. Happy Lunar New Year to all my Asian community out there. I really appreciate their culture. They're so thin, they're so healthy, and they eat a lot of fermented vegetables. Like that's a part of their culture, like kimchi and all that stuff. And so I'm like,
Yeah.
we as Americans like need to like take a cue from some of our other cultural friends that do a lot of this stuff because they're kind of ahead of us when it comes to nutrition. That being said, what foods do you feel like are best that we eat to ensure a healthy immune system?
Yeah. Well, as far as fermented foods, you mentioned kimchi. There's also another one that, unfortunately, I don't know. I don't have a source for it here where I live. I guess I could probably, check out some recipes and figure out a way to make it, but haven't done that. It's called natto. Natto is a Japanese fermented food made from soy. And natto contains an enzyme called nattokinase. And nattokinase can be helpful for our immune system, but it's also helpful for our circulatory system. It helps keep plaque from building up in our arteries. So it has that added benefit there. But that's a great one. And then, as far as some other foods, uh, your basic fruits and vegetables, as for the immune system. The vitamins, the nutrients, the minerals found in fruits and vegetables that we need them for our immune system, and also um, fish, cold water, ocean fish, very very important for a healthy immune system, because that cold water fish is the best source of essential fats, particularly DHA. One of the essential fats, there's EPA and there's DHA, the two primary essential fats found in fish. But fish has a little bit of vitamin D in it as well. And vitamin D is something that is extremely important for our immune system. Actually is vital for our immune system, as well as many other systems in our body as well. It helps with the circulatory system. It helps with our heart, arteries. Helps in preventing diabetes. It's got all kinds of functions. It helps with hormone health, brain neurotransmitters. I could go on and on about vitamin D, but it's so important for our immune system. And there's not a lot of foods that contain very much vitamin D at all. Eggs have a little bit, fish have a little bit, the ocean fish. But the best source of vitamin D, of course, is sunlight. And our body naturally makes vitamin D when we expose it to the sun. And so I had to go off on that tangent a little bit because we're talking about vitamin D and the foods, and they're just not there. But vitamin A is extremely important for the immune system. Vitamin C, the most important mineral for our immune system is zinc. And there are quite a few foods that contain zinc. Your green vegetables are rich in zinc. Nuts are rich in zinc. Seeds are rich in zinc. The number one seed, I was actually talking about this on Clubhouse last night. And zinc, the importance of zinc in our immune system. And this is something I have struggled with myself, is keeping my zinc levels up where they should be. A few years ago, I got really sick. I had some kind of viral infection, and I hardly ever get sick. But this viral infection happened, I don't know, about 3-4 years ago. Knocked me on my tail. And it took me a little while to get over it. And it was about 2 weeks later, I was getting sick again. I said, whoa, something's wrong here. This is not supposed to be happening to me. I'm healthy. I take care of myself. I eat right. I take my supplements, work out all the time. I'm not supposed to have this. And then I'm thinking, why is this happening? And all of a sudden, the thought came, check your zinc levels. And so I checked my zinc, and it was like I had my zinc levels were basically non-existent. So I started loading up on zinc, got my zinc levels back up, and that made all the difference. And so I stress to people all the time, you do need zinc for a healthy immune system. Pumpkin seed is what I was talking about last night. Pumpkin seed is one of the best sources of zinc that there is. And they're extremely healthy for you, especially for men, because they help us with our prostate. But those are some key nutrients that are vital for our immune system. We find them all in the foods that we eat. Good, healthy plants and good, healthy meats like fish. I'm not a big red meat eater, but people who do, they should be eating good grass-fed beef. It doesn't have the steroids and antibiotics and all that kind of stuff in there, which are those steroids and those antibiotics actually weaken our immune system. So the meats are really rich. The chicken and beef are really rich in the B vitamins and also in iron. The B vitamins are very important for our immune system as well, and having good healthy levels of B vitamins. Helping produce red blood cells, and is one of the most important things the B vitamins are for, and for our nervous system and brain health as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So I wonder, how do you feel about Zicam? Because I'm always shoving the Zicam.
Oh yeah, yeah. The Zicam is that zinc-based medication, and the Zicam is good. I've used Zicam a lot over the years, with Zicam lozenges, you've got Zicam tablets and capsules, and there's all kind of Zicam products out there. But they're mixed with a lot of other nutrients are mixed in there as well. They're not just a zinc-based product, but most of the Zicam products are homeopathic. It's a homeopathic form of zinc. And it works very well for most people to help. I guess recovery time. That's what I was trying to think of. With a cold or virus, it helps speed up the healing process and the recovery time. Usually, some studies say that those Zicam and zinc type products, can cut your recovery time in half, and so very, very effective. And yeah, I'm a big fan of the Zicam products as well. Actually, we keep Zicam swabs at our house, and they make these swabs. You can nasal swabs. You can swab them in your nose. But a lot of people don't know that you can also swab your ears with the Zicam.
I might have to try that one.
Yeah, there's a German doctor that theorized or hypothesized years ago that cold viruses sometimes enter through the ears and not through the nose. And if I get a cold or one of my kids gets a cold, we're swabbing the nose and the ears with Zicam.
That's interesting. And I'm one of those weird breeded people that the doctors look at crazy. But I told them, I was like, I can feel my ears running. And they're like, I'm like, no, they're like running into my throat. And I'll look in there and they're like, yeah, we can see that. And I'm like, yeah, I can feel that. Like I knew it was happening. And so I'm going to try that with the Zicam, putting it in my ear, because I'm one of those adults that gets ear infections as an adult. And they're like, why is this a thing? But apparently I got some allergy that we haven't pinned down yet. So
yeah, well, that's the chronic ear infections, or especially with adults, is usually a sinus issue. There's a sinus pressure builds up, and you end up with this fluid, and it that fluid becomes a breeding ground for infection. Since we're talking about this, I'll give you this little tip here as well. This is something I learned from my research years ago. This was also from a German doctor that I read this research article. You know, the Germans, when it comes to natural medicine, they're way ahead of us. And you know, they have a organization in Germany that is kind of equivalent to the FDA here, that oversees the natural product industry over there. And anyway, I read this article years ago, or this study. I don't remember if it was an article or study, but anyway, it was this German doctor talking about using hydrogen peroxide for colds. If you have a cold, put hydrogen peroxide in your ears. And I tried that. It was amazing. And it was kind of odd. And that was several years ago. And since then, I've also used hydrogen peroxide. If anybody in my family gets a cold, they're going to be laying on the couch and getting hydrogen peroxide in their ears. And so it does help. It does help. And one of the things, if there's something there, if you ever use hydrogen peroxide on a cut or scrape and you see it and you feel it and you see it boiling, so to speak, all this bubbling up, it's that oxygen. It'll do that in your ears. When you put it in the ears, if there's infection or something in your ears that needs to be cleaned out, you're going to feel that bubbling in there, that tingling and that fizzing. You'll actually hear the fizzing noise inside your ear. But that's something that we use here, and I use all the time. So thought I'd mention that since we were talking about the ears.
Yeah, amazing. I love that. Oh, that's amazing. So my last thing I want to ask you is, I know when it comes to sleep deprivation, like not getting enough sleep can actually be really, really bad for your immune system, because I believe that it decreases the cytokines that you have and it makes your body less able to attack pathogens. Also know that refined sugars are bad for immune system because it keeps you from being able to absorb vitamin C. But do you have any other tips of things that people need to avoid? They need to run like the wind from to keep their immune system strong.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more about the sugar and about the the sleep. Very, very important. Reduce the sugar in your diet. Very detrimental to your immune system. Sleep is so important for a healthy immune system, allowing our gut to repair, allowing our brain to repair as we sleep. And lack of sleep is one of the things years ago that kept me sick, because I didn't like to sleep. I slept as little as I possibly could. And when we don't get the sleep, it doesn't allow our body to heal and repair nightly as it's supposed to, and that directly affects the immune system. And it also creates more stress, internal stress in our body when we don't get sleep. And stress is very detrimental to our immune system. But since I mentioned that, I'll say that stress is one thing you need to manage more in your life. For protecting your immune system and having a strong and healthy immune system, we need to work on better managing stress in our lives and practicing what I call stress relieving or stress management techniques. And actually, I have a guide that I give away to people, and anybody wants it, they can go to my Instagram, Phil Carson RX on Instagram, and go to my links and get this free guide, stress and anxiety guide, that has 8 tips on how to reduce stress in our lives and how to mitigate the effects of stress on our health. Because stress is actually one of the major things going on in the world today that's making people sicker and weakening people's immune system. So I would say do everything you can to minimize the stress and mitigate the effects of stress, because we can't really get away from stress. It's part of our lives. And whether it's major stress or it's mild stress is okay. But it's that major stress, that chronic day in, day out stress or traumatic event in our lives that really can disrupt our immune system. And one other thing I'll say quickly, because you mentioned the sugar, a lot of people don't realize this: artificial sweeteners are detrimental to your immune system. And a lot of people avoid the sugar, but they use an artificial sweetener. And one of those, and it's funny to me that they got these color coded artificial sweeteners. You got the pink stuff, you got the blue stuff, and you got the yellow stuff. Go to a restaurant and you see these artificial sweeteners sitting out on the table in these little holders or whatever. You're usually going to see those three colors: pink, yellow, and blue. The worst one is the blue one. And probably in the second one, the worst one is going to be the yellow one, and then the pink one is probably the lesser of the three evils. But they're all bad. But the one that's most detrimental to the immune system is the yellow one, and that one is Splenda. Splenda is the brand name, and Splenda is a chemically altered sugar. But studies done at Duke University several years ago, down the road from you there, Duke, and Duke does a lot of. They have a lot of work they do in research in natural medicine, and traditional medicine as well. But there's a study done at Duke showed that Splenda actually kills the good bacteria in your gut. And so I tell people all the time, if you want to have a healthier gut, if you want to protect your microbiome in your gut, which is vital for your immune system, as we talked about in the beginning, stay away from Splenda. Avoid Splenda. Run from it. Don't use it. Don't eat anything that has Splenda in it, or drink anything that has Splenda in it. A lot of soda companies actually started using Splenda in their so-called diet drinks. So there you go.
Oh my gosh, yes. Please run away from the pink, the yellow, and the blue cancer in a packet. Like, just run. Oh my gosh, I love that you said that. And as an alternative, I always preach like raw sugarcane, honey, agave. Like, if you're going to use sugar, use raw, natural, occurring, organic sugars, everyone. It is okay. The reality of our bodies is that they want a little bit of sugar, so give them the most natural form that you can give them to help them out. Oh my gosh, Dr. Carson, thank you so much for coming today and talking to us about the immune system. It was absolutely wonderful to have you here on the Nature's Divine Holistic Secrets YouTube channel. I am going to repurpose this audio for my podcast as well. And so I'm just so grateful to have you here. And if you have any final remarks, I'll just let you have your little final remarks.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you today and share with your audience. And I always love the opportunity to help people in any way I can, and sharing what I've learned and what I've experienced. And it's always a joy and a pleasure to do that. And I just appreciate the opportunity to do it. And I encourage you to keep up the good work that you're doing as well, as a holistic healer, and helping people heal naturally, and leading them down that path. And I think it's awesome. I love it that there's a 29-year-old out there that's doing what you're doing and living the life you're living. That encourages me. So
when the call comes, we answer if you're obedient or not. So. So I'm just trying to do my best to just provide people with what I feel like is a lost knowledge. I feel like it's not, and I don't think it's by mistake. I think it's by design that we have been deterred away from the natural route when it is so beneficial. And one of the things that we advocate for on this channel is patient advocacy, because a lot of disparities in healthcare have caused me to have been forced to find my own healing through these natural remedies. Because when you can't get doctors to listen to you, and you can't get them to take you seriously because maybe you're not from a great socioeconomic background, and you're 29 and you look like me, and like you're telling them you have arthritis, but they're like, No, you can't have arthritis. You've got to be
Yeah.
fine. You're going home now. And so yeah, I'm just so grateful for natural medicine. I'm so grateful for all the plants and the air and everything that we've been given in this earth. And I'm just so grateful for you. So thank you so much for coming. And guys, if you want to follow up with Dr. Carson, I will make sure to link his information in the description of this video. Thank you so much for watching. And if you need help building a strategy to help you reduce your symptoms in your life through nutrition tips, non-toxic living, and natural remedies, do book a I love that this is live, so this is going to be actually in the video instead of a blooper. Hit the booking link and book a strategy session with me. So that's all I'm going to say for now, so I don't trip over any more words. But it was good talking to everyone. Goodbye. I always
Healthy
win.
blessings.